Hey there, it's Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach, with the number one question that I am asked. Any idea? Anyone? Just take a wild guess. It is this: how do I get started in voiceover? I don't know that there's been a day that's gone by in years that either through a social media post or through an email or through a phone call, somebody has not said, Bill, how do I get started in voiceover? When you think about it, it makes sense. The hardest part about really anything, pursuing anything, is getting started. Like, what's the first thing that I do? And if you can figure that out, then you can begin to get some traction and gain some momentum. So today, let's talk about how to get started. What's the first thing that you do? And to illustrate this a little bit further, this past week there was a post I have a private coaching group called the Voiceover Blueprint. You may have heard of it. And within that group, we have our own private Facebook group where we can post to each other and share thoughts, ask questions. And I had a student post, and she was going through the list. She literally had just started, I think, last week, and had listed all these things that she had done. And, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, she said, and I'm so confused. I'm just not sure what to do next. Well, the problem was, and she did what so many of us have done at some point in our lives, is we just tried to bite off the whole thing at one time. Instead of looking at it as a progression, where do I start? And then what's the second? And what's the third? She just, boom, took it all on in one big bite and felt overwhelmed almost immediately. Which is understandable because in voiceover, as in most businesses, there is a progression that needs to be followed. So by doing this, not only this first step I'm about to share with you, not only will it help you get some traction and get started, it will save you a lot of frustration because you don't have to tackle and figure everything out on day one or even week one. Let's just focus on the first step. So if I'm coaching, counseling somebody as to what to do, how to get started in voiceover, my suggestion is you start with your product. And there's really two aspects to your product. There's the performance side of your product. But even before that, there is the technical side, the VO tech side, making sure that your audio sounds good. That is where you start. Because clients and prospective clients, they'll forgive a lot of things. But bad audio is typically not one of them. And one of the things that you have to think about is the fact that one of your primary jobs as a voiceover talent is to make your client look good to their client. Because usually, and I would say in well over, 95% of all instances of all the jobs that I do, and I do hundreds and hundreds of jobs every year, that the work that I do is not, the end client is not the client that I'm working for. They're the ones who hired me. They're usually the media production specialists. They're creating video or putting video and audio together. They're creating the media, but they're working for somebody else who needs the media created. So I've got to make sure, and there's a number of ways to do this, but my job is to make sure that my client looks good to their client, because if they make their client happy, then chances are they'll be happy with me and come back and use me again and again and again. But it starts with your audio quality. And when I say audio quality, oftentimes the first thing that people think, and this is understandable, that, okay, what equipment do I need? And that's not even the biggest determiner. Did I just make up a new word? That's not the main thing that will determine the audio quality, how good your audio is going to be. There are a number of other factors. But what are those? None of us are born knowing these things. And unless you work within audio, or AV, chances are you don't know either. So what I wanted to let you know is that I have a class beginning here in a couple of weeks. Actually, it will be led by my son, Alex, who's an audio engineer, and he has helped countless voiceover talent get their audio sounding professional. That is what he does. And again, if it was just a matter of having the right microphone or the right interface, man, it would be easy. But it's not that simple, because it's also a function of not just your equipment, but of you, your voice, and where you record, even more importantly than that. And when you put all those together, and how many of us really know without some sort of training or help how to process audio? How do we take that raw audio and make it sound professional so that it sounds competitive when somebody hears it? And the fact is, it needs to be. Before you even get to the talent development side, before you get to the marketing side, you've got to have great sounding audio. That is the first step. That is where it begins. So if you need help with that, then what I want to suggest that you do is go to the URL. I'll put a link beneath this video in the description. It is voincomemachine.com. VO Income Machine is a series of 3 courses. And I recently finished up the voiceover performance class. That's the first really key of voiceover. That's the first key I was teaching of voiceover success. The key that I'm working on right now is the marketing side of things. And I actually teach class number 2 tomorrow night, tomorrow from when this is being recorded, tomorrow being Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. And then one more week in that course, and then we begin the VO Tech side of things. So when you go to VO Income Machine, you can sign up for that class that's coming up with Alex, but you can also buy the class that I'm teaching now, as well as the class I've just ended up teaching. If you buy all 3, you get two classes for the price or 3 classes for the price of 2. And these classes are priced really low, really some of the most affordable classes, and perhaps the most affordable class that I've ever sold. So I would love for you to sign up and take advantage of all of this because they're all recorded. They're on-demand streaming video. So the classes I've taught already, you can access immediately and watch them as long as you have internet access. And the classes that haven't been taught, you can participate live as well as watch them afterwards as much and for as long as you want to. So simply go to voincomemachine.com. You'll see it all there. But remember, the first step, breaking into voiceover, as so many people use. That's the terminology I hear. How do I break into it? Well, first thing you need really good audio. You need that. Without that, you've got nothing. You have no product. I don't care how well talented you are or how savvy you are as a marketer. It really starts, and you need all 3 of those things: performance marketing and audio quality. But it starts with the beginning of the product, and that is the audio quality. So check out the class, voincomemachine.com, and we would love to work with you and make your audio the best it can be so that you can be as competitive as you can, so that you can make a good living recording voiceover. And that's my mission as a teacher, as a coach, to help people. And I've helped hundreds, if not thousands, do it up to this point. Would love to help you as well. So check it out today. Talk to you soon.